Hi friends, I hope you're having a great week. This week's Parsha is Parshas Chayei. A few of the points that were interesting to me, that mattered to me in this week's Parsha, Chayei, the life of Sarah, was about her death, and it discusses the completion of her life, and as Rashi points out to us, that all the years of her life were good, all of them, equally as good. But what I was wondering is that we don't live in years, rather we live, in the here and now, whatever now exactly is. Like for the past is gone, the future is not yet, and the present is like the blink of an eye. I don't actually have a source for that one. I just one of those expressions that I know, but it makes sense to me. So all these infinitesimally small nows, these needle points in time, adding up to the years of good. So what is this nowness? What are these points in time? How should we think about it, or how are we trying to think about it, adding up to a lifetime? So I learned that one place that it talks about עכשיו, nowness, says when the Hillel the Elder told us v'im lo עכשיו imasai, if not now, when? So it sounds like he's like seized, a little bit like seized the day, but it's I think there's more to it, that Hillel is suggesting that that every akshav, that every now has a particular purpose. Like you have to seize it, you have to grab onto it. Meaning the 1:25 p.m. on a Friday is not the same 1:25 p.m. on Saturday. Work with me, meaning that something, whatever opportunity, whatever highest good that I had a chance to do in this moment is not it's not going to be and can't be the very same highest good in tomorrow's moment. Meaning, let's say that learning Torah is a very wonderful thing, or doing kindness. Whatever kindness I could be doing now in this moment is not the very same kindness, the same quality, and all the same situation and details involved in it, because it couldn't be, because it's tomorrow. So if I put off today what I could be doing tomorrow at exactly that time, then it sounds like I'm depriving that tomorrow of that time.
Is it because
I have a question.
Yes. Is it because all the conditions are different every day?
Well, I mean, they have to be, because it's not just conditions. I'm a different person. I'm a little bit older, whatever.
Wiser.
Hopefully wiser. I like that. It's good. It's good. It's good to hear. So whatever details necessarily are changed. The world changed, and everyone is in a different place. So whatever the maximization is, it's not the same quality. It doesn't mean I can't do the same things every day, but that same thing isn't the same thing because it happened at a different time. That's kind of where we're going. So he's saying that this is not a sad thing, that if we let a moment gone and we don't do what we did today, that doing it tomorrow is not the same thing. It's not a matter of despair. It's an idea of grabbing on. And grabbing onto the moment about whatever it is we're doing. So there's a story about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was once teaching a bunch of students, and he's giving a drash, and he was expounding on Torah, and his students started falling asleep. They started napping on him. And as a former teacher, I have no idea what he's talking about, because there was never a time where I was giving a class where someone started to nap. It's never happened. But
You're the best teacher.
Thank you. But let's just say that I can understand. So he started telling a story. What story did he tell? He started telling that why did Queen Esther of Persia, from the Purim story, why is it that she was merited to rule over 127 provinces, the majority of the world? So he answered. So Rabbi Akiva answered, because her grandmother Sarah, it wasn't her grandmother, it was more generations, but her grandmother Sarah, her Babi Sarah had lived for 127 years. So why this story? So Rabbi Akiva lived, the background is that Rabbi Akiva lived at a time where learning wasn't necessarily looked well upon, and it also had the non-benefit of being illegal at the time. So it's very possibly that even his own Talmidim, his own students, were starting to question and wonder, is this really what we should be doing? Is this really in my best interest and the best interest of my family? And he saw that there was some doubt, because the only way that a person could start napping is, in most cases, is if they don't take or think that the learning of the material or this process is that important and that meaningful and that serious. So they started to nap. They started to have that doubt. And Rabbi Akiva seems to be suggesting that it's not only important, and not only is he trying to wake them up so they can realize the importance in what they're doing, he's suggesting that you can be confident. You can be confident that what you're doing is going to matter, even if it's not in your lifetime. All these private needle points of achavness, these nowness in Sarah's life, led to that, to have a descendant like Esther, who ruled over this. It wasn't just the 127 nations. It means a completeness and a wholeness, that she was put into a situation where she could save the entire people. Story of Purim, separate shmuz. But that situation was created and put into her makeup because of Sarah's acts. Meaning a person could see the cause and effect and maybe suggest that she came from a certain family and she was of a certain look and she was of a certain beauty. And the story of Purim itself and how she rose up and became the queen. And we could also understand that spirit runs through things, and that cause and effect, one could even link back to Sarah, even if not in a spiritual way, if one was coming out maybe to a practical way about coming from royalty and continuing that level of royalty, and also coming from Sarah who is considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. Of course, it makes sense that she should have a great-granddaughter who is also beautiful. And even with that, you can rest assured that, he's saying to his students, you can be rest assured that the work you are doing does provide a situation, does provide the circumstances that allow the descendants to become more privileged. And that privilege, even if, that a spirit runs through things, all the private acts add up. And you're putting into your descendants the strength and the wherewithal and the merit, which is where he was coming from, that there will be success. So rest assured, wake up that indeed, even this private act now in this room, worried about the illegalness of when Rabbi Akiva is teaching the Torah from the Romans, that is going to make a difference. It has made a difference. And even if you're not going to see a difference in your life, we have enough history and enough ability to look back that it always has made enough difference. So you can be rest assured it's going to be continued to make enough difference, because if you're going to extrapolate from actual facts of things that happened in the past, you can trust that it's going to happen in the future. So take advantage of the now. Wake up and understand this learning of the Torah and the doing of the mitzvahs is mattering, is going to save your children. I don't mean like save your children, although I think I think that too. But it'll provide a structure that you can be proud of and rest assured that after you're gone, that it'll continue to be good for them. So how do we maximize all our nows? So sometimes, whether it's kindness or whether it's learning or the specific details at any given moment, I don't know. But in order for there even to be a chance, in order to connect to the importance of the meaningfulness, that we have to recognize that there really is importance and meaning. Because if a person were to go through life and not be connected to the understanding that they are affecting change and what they have, is going to have value, and maybe starting living a life of despair and getting by. So probably living that life of thinking they're going to get by, they probably are going to get by. But or even like a middle level of despair, where a person thinks, you know what, I'll do enough regarding religion, regarding God. I don't want to accept the angry God, so I'll do whatever ritual things I need to do. And after I'm finished doing these ritualistic things that I need to do, so not to accept the angry God in his place, I can go back to doing what I really want to be doing. Versus recognizing, by opening up this relationship and understanding that all God wants for you is good, and all the things he's recommending for you is for your greatest good, and to create a loving, open, warm relationship full of recognition and growth and enlightenment and a lot of other big words. No, not just a lot of other big words. Really, if it had to be summed up, it's like Hillel also said about loving your neighbor as yourself. Meaning, it really does all come down to love, and really this is all prescription about the greatest love of self, the greatest love of all. No, really, the greatest love of all, loving yourself. Recognize the importance, recognizing that you have this loving God who's constantly concerned with every detail in your life, every needle point, every achshav. So the beginning of that recognition, and it allows for a further recognition, and it's really as in a life of joy as opposed to a grim life of getting by. So I'm suggesting that if we start anticipating good things and recognizing good things, and that the whole Judaism is about good things, and the prescription for the greatest things is in our Torah, it brings about enlightenment. That'll maybe we'll sleep less, we'll nap less during class, and striving for these good things, and opening up this relationship that's been there all along with Hashem, and recognizing the importance of our roles. It's going to give a permanence and a meaning to all we do. So let us look at this meaning. I think it's going to be a great Shabbos. I'm really looking.
It's going to be a great Shabbos.
I'm really looking forward to the Shabbos, and I look forward to seeing you next week. If you have any questions or comments on this video, please leave it on the space below. Also, if you'd like to know when the next video is coming out, please on this side, there's this side, the subscribe button. Please feel free to subscribe so you know when the next video is coming out, automatically sent to your email. And I look forward to seeing you next week. It's going to be a good week. I hope everyone has a time to reflect on their importance in the role, reflecting on the here and now, not postponing joy. This moment is joyful, and it's good and meaningful and positive.
It's all good.
And it's all good. All right, I will see you guys next week.